This is WOOL-FM, community radio for the southern Vermont and New Hampshire borderlands. And I've got a 6'3" Bronx-bred Harlem-based tenor on the phone. He's become so beloved in these parts that he's going to be doing a schizophrenic double dip at Next Stage in Putney this month. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sean Altman.
Thank you for referring to my Bronx roots. You know, that gives me a little bit of street credibility.
Street cred. We're going to get into street cred. You've got cred. You're coming back to Next Stage for the third year running as part of the ever-popular, family-friendly Groove Barbers a cappella holiday concert extravaganza. That's on December 16th. And then on December 23rd, you're hitting Putney for the first time with your widely hailed, foul-mouthed, unkosher musical comedy show, Jewmongous.
Yes, Jewmongous is as not family-friendly as the Groove Barbers is family-friendly. Please bring the kids to the Groove Barbers, and please get a babysitter for Jewmongous.
I'm going to be talking to Groove Barbers bassman Charlie in a couple of days. We don't need to dwell on it too much, but it's exposition for the Jewmongous guy, so tell people about the Groove Barbers in that show.
The Groove Barbers is a vocal quartet that's comprised mostly of former members of the vocal group Rockapella, which is the group that I started in the late 1980s and led for 11 years, including 5 years starring in the television series Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, for which I wrote the famous theme song. And the Groove Barbers, we consider ourselves kind of a modern doo-wop group. We have a holiday show where we intersperse doo-wop classics with our own arrangements of holiday favorites. And we also have a very special guest, my lovely wife, soprano Ina Dukak, who is an international opera singer. Mm-hmm. And we do a special show within the show that we call Do Opera, which is where she sings famous classical arias and we do comedic doo-wop backup behind her.
Sorry, ladies, he's married. Ina's no slouch.
Yes, she's on the Met roster. She's understudying the lead of Cho-Cho-san. If the lead soprano gets sick, my wife gets to go on. So I plan to be getting a cold and shaking a lot of hands near the lead soprano so that my wife can go on. But Ina has done major roles all around the world, and it's always a pleasure when she joins the Groove Barbers.
Oh, well, yeah, she did Mimi and La Boheme in New York City Opera, Musetta at the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, Anchorage Opera, Atlanta Opera, Opera Hong Kong.
You know, she classes up the act, I have to say. We joke when we're on stage that I and the Groove Barbers continually invite her to join us in performing in clubs and small concert halls, and we're still waiting for our invitation to join her in one of the great opera stages of the world. And apparently we have a long time to wait because she's never going to invite us.
The Groove Barbarians, 3 of the 4 of you, including you, as you mentioned, were in the pioneering modern a cappella group Rockapella. That's a big deal, Rockapella.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a long career with many different projects, but Rockapella is still, I think, the pinnacle of the things that I've done in my career, and particularly in the United States, being on Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego for those 5 years, and being on television every day, and writing that song. I mean, I've written a lot of great songs. I think a lot of even better songs than that, but when you write a popular TV theme song, that's it. That's the one that's going to be on my tombstone. Here lies the guy who co-wrote the theme song for Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego?
And just in case the Undertaker forgets, please remind him.
That plus, and all you 90s PBS kids are going to remember, this is the guy with the weird braids.
You know, come on, it was the 90s. The braids in the 90s were completely appropriate. Not so much now.
Well, you're right. They were good at the time, but thank you for cutting them on the final episode of Carmen.
That was fun. And that was pretty interesting that you even knew that. Yes, my hair was actually cut by the host on the final episode of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. And it was a surprise thing because no one else except for the host and the director knew that it was going to happen. For fans of the show, it was kind of a big deal.
And that brings us to Jewmongous, which has had a ton of really great press. I'm going to take a second and roll down some of these. Los Angeles Times, tuneful and sharply witty. Chicago Tribune, relentlessly clever. Bawdy with a wicked modern streak, Washington Post. Boston Globe said the tunefulness of the Beatles and, this is good, the spot-on wit of Tom Lehrer. A New Yorker, a terrific singer and songwriter with an ear equally attuned to comic satire and the power of pop music. And Time Out said, laugh your tuchus off.
Yeah, I'm grateful that people have paid attention to yet another act I've put together that will never become hugely famous. I seem to have a knack for getting myself completely immersed in novelty acts that will never, ever make me a bona fide rock star.
So we're going to get into some of those a little bit later. For now, you're a Jewish hipster thanks to Rabbi Gottlieb.
Yes, I am. Rabbi Gottlieb was the rabbi who bar mitzvahed me way back when in the 1970s. Yeah, I'm entirely secular in that I'm completely atheist, but I'm immersed in discovery and wonderment about what it is to be Jewish, Jewish culture. Jewish culture is sort of interesting in that you actually don't have to be a believer to feel and be Jewish. My friends consider me like the most Jewish guy in the world, but I'm like, wait, how can I be the most Jewish guy in the world when I don't even believe in God? It's all about the humor, it's about the culture, it's about the food. I've written now close to 30 songs on the subject.
Before we get deeper, I do want to just note that Jewmongous, it's not mean-spirited in any way. It's a little caustic, maybe precociously juvenile sometimes. Maybe it's cathartic a little?
Yeah, well, for me, I've always had a certain amount of guilt about not being more connected with my Jewish heritage. I guess I would say it's almost the same as prayer. Some people, when they pray, they feel closer to their religion and their heritage. And when I sing these songs, they question some of the rituals of my people in a loving way. Mm-hmm. And I attempt to skewer a lot of the stereotypes about Jewish people. And there are so many stereotypes. And by singing about them in a humorous way, I like to feel that I'm deflating the stereotypes. And also, there's a serious side, which is that anti-Semitism is still a huge international problem. Yeah. And I've written a number of songs in which I attempt to poke fun at anti-Semitism. I have a song about the supposed beginnings of institutionalized anti-Semitism. I have a character in my show called Pope Anti-Semiticus from the year 1315. And he's an ancient Italian pope, and he writes and sings a lovely, romping Italian tarantella about how easy it is to blame the Jews for everything that goes wrong in your life, whether you stub your toe, whether you don't like your mother-in-law, whether you have a cold, whether you have bad breath, there's a plague. Let's just blame the Jews.
This song, there's a couple of times where there are colloquial expressions for body parts in there. I'm just giving sensitive listeners a heads up. I know some of you listeners are very tender.
Put on your earmuffs, everyone.
This little song is not the typical tarantella. This a little song about a particular kind of fella. He no look the same, or talk the same, or dress the same, or pray the same as we do. So we call him a name and make up a game. The name of the game is blame of the Jew. And Jews like a minor key. If you're down on your luck, your life will suck. Then tell me, what do you got to lose? Blame of the Jews. If your boss drives you nuts, if your landlord is a putz, the fault is whose? Blame of the Jews. If your son's a little thick, if your daughter turns a trick, you wish your toothpick dick were bigger like a pogo stick. If your mother-in-law's a bitch, what's with the race upon the witch to put the screws? Blame of the Jews. If you're addicted to the pills, pouring Coke or chocolate Coke or sniffing glues, blame the Jews. That's right. If your testicles or breasticles are dangling or down around your shoes, blame the Jews. If the fly is in your soup, if you're wheezing from the croup, if your husband like to stoop you in the place you make the poop, who's the chosen group to take abuse for all the pain you feel in your caboose? Blame the Jews. Blame the blacks or the Puerto Ricans for variety society on the weekends. But in the work week, what's in fashion is some good old-timey passion. Such dark and docile creatures with the sad Semitic features spread the gospel, nuns and preachers, from the boxes to the bleachers. When I say the bad thing, you say blame the Jews. When I say anything, you say blame the Jews. Seasonal flu, blame the Jews. Dog do, blame the Jews. Varicose veins, stubborn stains. Income tax, blame the Jews. Hairy backs, blame the Jews. Junk foods, blame the Jews. Tiger woods, blame the Jews. VD, blame the Jews. Asparagus pea, blame the Jews. The KKK, blame the Jews. Feng shui, blame the Jews. Smallpox, blame the Jews. Small cocks, blame the Jews. Smelly cheeses, blame the Jews. The baby Jesus. Wait. We cannot blame the Jews for the baby Jesus. Oh yeah, I guess you can. Dinosaurs became extinct, then the Titanic sank into the ooze. Coincidence? Blame the Jews. That's right. Earthquake, Black Death, bubonic plague, bad breath, a clever ruse by whom? Blame the Jews. Of course. Let's change the history book, make the Jew look like a snook. When we crucified the Christ, we said no, it was those guys. Find a little tribe to blame, that's the way to fill the coffers and the pews. Blame the Jews, blame who? Blame the Jews. Blame who? Blame the Jews. Blame who? Blame the Jews.
One of my goals is to poke gentle fun at some of the rituals, because as a secular Jew, I feel like I'm somewhat of an outsider, and I can look at some of the unusual rituals. Like I have a song about dancing the hora. I have a couple of songs that reference circumcision. I have a couple of bar mitzvah songs. I even have a bar mitzvah song about Jesus Christ bar mitzvah, because of course, if Jesus was Jewish, then he would have been bar mitzvahed. And what must that have been like to be a Jesus Christ bar mitzvah?
Nine, 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 the bar mitzvah of Jesus Christ. Saddle up the donkey, we'll ride till dark. Etch the directions on a piece of bark. Pee on the fire till there ain't no spark. Lock up the cave, we're about to embark for Jesus Christ bar mitzvah. Jesus Christ bar mitzvah. We're psyched as hell, cause it's the bar mitzvah of Jesus Christ. Damn, Nazareth traffic on every dune. Don't wanna miss a note when Christ starts to croon. And the 7th grade girls will squeal and swoon, cause that magical hippie can carry a tune. And God Almighty greets ya, then Mother Mary seats ya for fishes and loaves pizza, the bar mitzvah of Jesus Christ. Everybody who is anybody is there. Buddha, Santa Claus, L. Ron Hubbard, and Cher. Muhammad tried to crash, but he ain't on the list. He left in a huff, I hope he don't stay pissed. Woo! Party time! Yarmulke's appointed with crucifixes, yet to be anointed. Future shakes us, but dancing betwixt Janes and Dicks is nixed. Even though they're all soon to be Catholics, cause you can't mix tits with titsis, at least not at Orthodox simchas. We're psyched as hell, cause it's the bar mitzvah of Jesus Christ. Nine, 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 nine. Simon double, muzzle double, muzzle double, Simon double, Simon double, muzzle double, muzzle double, Simon double, Simon double, muzzle double, Simon double. Yeah, hey, on and Christ looks so scrumptious. You wanna eat him up? Well, you're in luck. Here's a wafer and his blood in a cup. As per the party plan, it's conception. It's an immaculate reception. Woo! Dance the horror. Get Christ up in a chair. Today he's a man without pubic hair. Rumor has it he's a chip off the old block. If he just just write his thank yous and put down his cock. That lobster bit befits ya. Give cash or he'll blacklist ya. We're psyched as hell 'cause it's the bar mitzvah of Jesus Christ. Don't forget your complimentary reattachable foreskin on the way out.
The Jewmongous debut album, it's called Taller Than Jesus, which is funny right there. There's a dozen original songs, plus a Ramones cover. It's just chock full of messed up Torah, history, humanities, stereotypes, and vulgarities.
Thank you. Part of what I do on stage is make fun of my own lack of knowledge. For me, in trying to learn about the rituals of my people, I've written these songs while trying to learn. So some of my history is totally messed up. One newspaper called me the Bart Simpson of the yeshiva, in that I'm kind of like the lousiest student there is.
And that makes it a really a perfect show for Gentiles.
Yes. And in fact, a typical show, at least a third of the people are not Jewish. And I actually spend a good amount of the show talking to the non-Jews in the audience, explaining to them what's about to happen and explaining to them what's going on. In many respects, it's the blind leading the blind, because when you have Sean Altman, who is a secular Jew, trying to explain the rituals of Judaism to a non-Jewish audience, now that's funny.
And there's a brand new album that's just dropping. It's so new, it's not even on the website. The least Jewy Jew in Jewville.
I know. You'd think that someone like me would have a team of Jewish tech people getting my website ready for the new release. But actually, I was so busy trying to rush the album out that I totally forgot that I actually have to get it up on the website. It is available at cdbaby.com. It'll also be on iTunes. But yes, it's called The Least Jewy Jew in Jewville, and that's one of the song titles as well. Somewhat autobiographical. I've been working very hard on that record for several years, and it includes, I think, some of my best work. So I'm very excited about it. And it was actually co-produced by the gentleman who plays percussion with me on stage, Michael Hunter.
Well, yeah, you are going to have a couple of people with you, aren't you?
Yes. Michael Hunter is a multi-instrumentalist who plays percussion with me when I do the live show. And my good friend Cynthia Kaplan is an extremely funny singer-songwriter. She does a few songs within my show, and then we do a bunch of songs together.
I mentioned the website, but didn't give it. It's Jewmongous.com, everybody.
And I was clever enough to have all different spellings of Jewmongous.com point to the right website. So if you spell it any which way, it should get to Jewmongous.com.
Tickets for that show, they're just a flat $20, easy. You can get them online at nextstagearts.org. You can call Next Stage at 802-387-0102 if you're not one of those computer people. You can walk in to Turn It Up in Brattleboro or the Putney Co-op. They've got them there. All faiths and the faithless are welcome, except not kids under 16, because you're a potty mouth.
You can bring kids under 16, but just be prepared. I don't want to have any complaints like, I can't believe he didn't warn me, and I brought my 12-year-old kid. When I was 12 or 13, I would have loved it if my parents had brought me to a show like this. But I do need to warn parents that there is some cursing. No more than you would hear at any other grown-up comedy show. But there is some cursing. There's sex talk, stuff that grown-ups like.
Let's play another Jewmongous song and come back and talk about some other stuff.
That would be great.
What song do we want to play now?
Phantom Foreskin is one of the music videos I have out, and that seems to be one of my most popular songs. It's a love song to my lost foreskin.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Hey, little one, how you doing? I've been thinking about you. Yeah, missing you. Do you miss me? Of course you do. We were so close. Sometimes it's like you never left me. Like you're still a part of me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I feel you.
Ever since that special day, 8 days after I was born, they cut a little something away. It's gone, my soul's in mourning. Sweet wine stopped my crying, but that missing thing keeps testifying over and over and over and over again. Ooh, must be my phantom foreskin calling to me from the great beyond. My want you back where you belong. Oh, I get a little vestigial shiver north of my knees, south of my liver. Hashem is an ancient giver to take back such a precious sliver. Time quieted my sobbing, but nothing can quell the throbbing from my knob. Over and over and over again. Ooh, must be my phantom foreskin. A mystic twitch betwixt my britches, my phantom foreskin. An itty bitty itch, I'm a stitch bewitched, my phantom foreskin. Your socks, the ointment for my joints. I want you back where you belong. Oh, in the tumultuous of morning, I wonder where you are. In a jar of old formaldehyde, or wishing on a star. Well, keep the faith, my faithful sheep. Keep making noise from deep beneath my fly. 'Cause dreams come true, and one day I and you will reunite with crazy glue. A foreskin and his Jew, my phantom foreskin. Maybe you're just a fantasy, my phantom foreskin. Maybe you're just an STD, my phantom foreskin. Since you've been gone, can't feel my fog. I want you back where you belong, my phantom foreskin.
In the last year and a half or so, I'm finally getting on the YouTube bandwagon and making some good videos of these songs. So the album comes out, and I've already have 3 videos up on YouTube. So Blame the Jews, Phantom Foreskin, and my song about the famous Israeli tough guy, Moshe Dayan. The song is called Tough MF with an eye patch. I can't elaborate on what the MF stands for, but, you know. I spent most of my career never cursing on stage, and I think I make up for it in that one song. But it's worth it. It's a lot of fun, and it's up on YouTube.
It seems that you've been pretty much constantly immersed in and performing and producing music since pretty much high school.
Yes. People who haven't seen me in many years, they ask me, hey, so are you still doing music? And which is always funny to me. It's like if you ran into an attorney that you knew in his 20s, if you're like, hey, you still working on the law? I'm like, yes, this is what I do. It's the only thing I know how to do. It's the only thing I will ever do.
It's probably hard for some people to take the whole music thing seriously. I mean, Moon Pudding?
Yeah, Moon Pudding is actually interesting because that was when I was 17 years old. I was in a duo with my high school friend David Yazbek, and then we both ended up in college together, and we performed for about a year together in college. And then he and I co-wrote "Where in the World Is Carmen Sandiego" together, that song. And now he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Broadway composers. So he's one of my famous friends.
Cool. Ride those coattails.
I'm doing my best. I joke with him that he's written 4 hit Broadway shows, but still nothing he's done will ever be as popular as co-writing "Where in the World Is Carmen Sandiego" with me. That's the hit.
I found a picture of you guys performing as a duo, and you were singing into this beautiful RE30, and it looked like he was stuck with an SM58.
Oh, that's funny. Wow. I think that was at our high school show, and I have a nice big Jew fro, right? I had a very impressive helmet of hair when I was in high school. Those days are over.
The hair thing connects to, Blind Dates.
Yes, I was in a failed new wave pop band. You know, it's funny. I still think of myself as right in the middle of it, but when I look back, yes, I have been involved in many, many projects. But you know, I've always liked to sing different kinds of material, and nothing's changed. I sing a cappella with the Groove Barbers. I sing original comedy songs with Jewmongous. I have my own solo album of bittersweet pop songs coming out in a couple of months under the Sean Altman name. I have a duo project with a woman named Patty Rothberg called Dragon Meets Phoenix, which is kind of quirky synth pop.
Cool.
So yeah, I liked, and my latest project, which performed at Next Stage this past September, is I'm in an Everly Brothers tribute duo called the Everly Set.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in many respects, I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
So there must be a line of descent from Moon Pudding to Everly Set.
Yeah, that was my first foray into two-part harmony singing. In fact, we probably even performed Bye Bye Love or Wake Up Little Susie or some of those songs. Those songs are great. The Everly Brothers repertoire is just sensational, and my partner in that is a really young guy. He's 20 years old. His name is Jack Sculler, and he's a fantastic guitar player and singer, and I met him when we were paired to sing a duet together at a tribute series in New York called the Losers Lounge, and we sang a Simon & Garfunkel song together when he was 14 and I was in my late 30s, and we sounded great together. And then finally, a year ago, we put together an act, and now we've actually got a bunch of gigs booked.
Cool. You kind of do things in twos over time. Moon Pudding, Everly Set, Blind Dates, and now the Phoenix thing.
One of the great joys of the middle of my career was realizing that I like to write songs. Rockapella got a record deal with a Japanese record company,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, we'd like you to write some songs for the record. And I said, wow, you mean if I write a song, it'll actually be on a CD? And it was such an amazing prospect that I tried my hand at it, and I found that I actually loved it, and it brought me a lot of emotional comfort.
Mm-hmm.
And then writing kind of quirky novelty songs went from being a sideline to being a big focus of my career. So now I have sort of two different types of songwriting I do. There's one that's sort of from the head, the comedy stuff, and then there's one that's from the heart, which is more emotional songs. And those go on the Sean Altman solo albums,
Mm-hmm.
which nobody ever hears except for me, but I think that's actually my best work.
Well, the solo stuff has gotten a lot of praise, too. You've won awards, dude.
Yes, I won a few contests, and people say nice things about my solo stuff. But the fact is that I think that there's a lot of sensitive male singer-songwriters out there, so it's a very crowded field. There are not a lot of tall, funny Jewish singer-songwriters writing about their Jewish heritage. So in that respect, I tapped into something where at least I was unique.
You've performed for the president at the White House Chanukah party twice.
I need to correct you. I think you just said Chanukah.
Hanukkah.
I can't let that go. I gotta correct you. Yeah. Get the good Hanukkah.
Born and bred in Minnesota, live in Vermont. What do I know from Jewish?
You telling me that in Minnesota they pronounce it Chanukah? I have to go do a gig in Minnesota then. I had to correct you because if I didn't correct you, then someone would say, wait, he let the host say Chanukah and he didn't even correct him? What kind of a Jew is he? But yes, I did perform twice at the White House Hanukkah party. In fact, I led a hora at the White House Hanukkah party one year, and I was told, to the White House staffers' knowledge, that was the first time that the hora had ever been done in the White House.
Oh, nice. And hora is a great word. You can't really go wrong with hora.
No, it's great. And I have a song on the new album called Hooked on Horror, which is basically, it's a love song to that ritual circle dance of my people.
You've been on stage with Billy Joel, Steve Miller, Whoopi Goldberg, Jon Stewart, Jay Leno, Joey Ramone, Moby. Moby?
Yes. In fact, I recently actually even recorded with Steve Miller. Steve Miller is one of my idols. And the Groove Barbers is going to be releasing a single of Steve Miller's hit Fly Like an Eagle with Steve Miller singing the lead. So that's going to be coming out sometime in the next year.
Outstanding.
Groove Barbers doing a doo-wop version of Fly Like an Eagle with Steve Miller singing the lead. And I actually went to his house and I recorded him doing the lead. It was very exciting.
And you've also recorded with XTC, John Cale, Richie Havens, They Might Be Giants.
Yes.
These are all, it sounds like you're a bigger deal than you're letting on.
There is an interesting story behind each of those. The Billy Joel thing is one of the greatest moments of my career. Rockapella sang The Longest Time with him 2 nights at Madison Square Garden in the early 90s. And it was just fantastic. I've always been a huge Billy Joel fan, and to sing that doo-wop song with him on stage at a packed Madison Square Garden was just amazing. XTC. XTC recorded a song for the second Carmen Sandiego album, which I co-produced with Billy Strauss, who's involved with Next Stage and my good friend. So we co-produced that record, and XTC contributed a song, and I sang backup for XTC on that song. And I did a commercial with They Might Be Giants for, I think, Dunkin' Donuts. I've performed with those guys several times. John Cale hired me to sing backup on one of his records. So, in New York, I have a reputation of being a good studio singer, so people frequently call me to add the special Sean Altman magic to their recordings.
Session guy. You mentioned Billy Joel in The Longest Time. Rockapella, you guys started as street corner buskers.
Yes. The first incarnation of Rockapella, we were all buddies from the same college a cappella group at Brown University. We found ourselves in New York City, and we were just singing on the street for fun and for quarters. People would throw quarters and the occasional dollar and business cards into our hat. And the business cards were always offers of work, like, hey, come sing at my party, come do my local TV show. And so that's really how my career got started, is doing private parties and then local television and then regional television. And, our first big break was being on Regis Philbin and Kathy Lee Gifford's show. Then the producers of an a cappella PBS special saw us on a local TV show and said, hey, do you want to be in this TV special with Spike Lee? And then the producers of Carmen Sandiego, which was then just a show in production, hadn't even aired yet, they saw us on the Spike Lee special and said, hey, do you guys want to be the house band on our TV show for kids? And we said, sure.
Of course.
So it's been a lot of an interesting slow build, and I've loved every minute of it. I think I'm uniquely cut out for this kind of career, even with the ups and downs and the financial instability, because I actually enjoy every kind of gig. This weekend, I'll be singing for 500 people at a theater and recording a commercial and also singing at someone's bar mitzvah, and I'm going to enjoy every single gig. The good gigs, the crappy gigs, I like them all. I really do. I'm immensely grateful that I get to sing and write songs for a living.
What is it about Putney? Is there something about it?
I love Putney, and I'm just so happy that I get to perform there. My good friend Billy Strauss, who is one of the board members and one of the major instigators of converting Next Stage into the world-class venue it is, he moved to Putney maybe 20 years ago. I met him in college. He was Rockapella's first record producer, produced several records for the group, for a Japanese record label. He and I wrote a bunch of songs together. And when he moved to Putney, I started visiting him and we would write songs together. And he got me my first gigs in Brattleboro. Mm-hmm. And I've done a number of dance party events at Next Stage to raise money for Next Stage. Mm-hmm. And then the Groove Barbers has now performed 3 times at Next Stage. And this is going to be Jewmongous' first appearance at Next Stage. So Billy's still one of my great friends, and he produces records for people, and I sing on them sometimes, and he and his wife, Lynn, are just lifelong friends of mine. And I'm very excited for him and for the Vermont community that they have an amazing venue in Next Stage. Yeah. From the performer's perspective, that place literally can't be beat. Great sound, great lights, beautiful classic setting. It's a real treasure.
And a lovely audience.
Yes. I'll probably go to the Putney Diner, as I always do, and get pancakes. My daughter has even spent a lot of time up in Putney. We love visiting the farm at the Putney School, and she likes to milk the cows there.
The last line in your Wikipedia entry, all by itself, its own line, and given with proper citation, is Altman is Jewish.
That's really funny. The Wikipedia page is funny. I haven't checked it lately, and I often wonder who are the people that are making changes to the Wikipedia page. As if you could read my whole Wikipedia page about the fact that I have an act called Jewmongous and all the stuff I've done with Jewmongous, and then feel the need to say Altman is Jewish. That's classic.
We've been talking with Sean Altman from just all kinds of things over the years. He's going to be at Next Stage twice up in Putney. The first time with Groove Barbers, and that's on December 16th.
Yes.
Family-friendly Groove Barbers a cappella holiday concert extravaganza on December 16th. And then back again on December 23rd with Jewmongous, which is going to be really funny.
Unfamily-friendly, Jewmongous, but adults will love it.
Jewmongous.com, spelled any damn way you choose. Before I let you go, can I get a station ID that we can just plug into automation?
Okay. This is Sean Altman of Jewmongous and the Groove Barbers, and you're listening to WOOL Black Sheep Radio.
Oh, you've done this before.
One thing I have learned from listening to a lot of radio is that it's always good to talk loud on the radio. Except if you're on NPR. If you're on NPR, then you have to talk very slowly, and you have to let your voice go into vocal fry a lot. Like, they all talk like this. On NPR, they talk like this. Everybody talks like this.
What's her name? Did she featured one of your songs?
Who's that?
On NPR. Terry Gross.
Oh, Terry Gross. Yeah. The act that I was in before Jewmongous was called What I Like About Jew. That's the act for which I wrote my song, They Tried to Kill Us, We Survived, Let's Eat. And so she had us on the radio, and she did a whole thing about that song, because that song got a fair amount of airplay. The video that I did with Jewmongous for that song is one of my most popular videos. You know, it's the fractured Passover story.
We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt. The year was 1492. Hitler had just invaded Poland. Madonna had just become a Jew. Moses was found on the Potomac. Then he marched with Martin Luther King. He came back to free us from our bondage, 'cause S&M has never been our thing. They tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. They tried to kill us, we were faster on our feet. So they chased us to the border, there's a parting of the water. Tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. Then the Pharaoh, who looked like Yul Brynner, heard the Jews were trying to escape. Charlton Heston came right down from the mountain. He said, Pharaoh, you're a damn dirty ape. The menorah was almost out of oil. Farrakhan was planning Kristallnacht. The gefilte fish was nearing extinction. It looked like Moses and his flock were verkackt. They tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. They tried to kill us, we were faster on our feet. And we knew how to resist, 'cause we'd rented Schindler's List. Tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat.
The 10 Egyptian plagues.
1,
Blood,
2,
locusts,
3,
boils,
4,
dandruff,
5,
acne,
6,
back knee,
7,
piles,
8,
cataracts,
9,
sciatica,
10.
sickle cell anemia.
We fled on foot, there was no time to tarry. Leavening the bread would take too long. All we had was egg foo young and matzah, while battling the fearsome Viet Cong. And so tonight we gather to remember the ancient Hebrews who paid the price. We have a Seder each year in December to commemorate our Savior Jesus Christ. They tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. They tried to kill us, we were faster on our feet. So we never did succumb to the annual pogrom. Tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. They tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat. They tried to kill us, we were faster on our feet. So come on, blow the shofar, 'cause they haven't nailed us so far. Tried to kill us, we survived, let's eat.
Thank you for taking the time. This was, I really
Mark,
enjoyed
thanks a lot
this.
for having me. It was so much fun.
Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, hey! My great-great-great-grandpa was a Ukrainian wizard with a needle and thread. He quoted the Torah while sewing you a suit to last you till you're dead. But somewhere down the line, the DNA went awry. I can't distinguish a crucifix from a chai. I'm the least Jewy Jew in Jewville. A weeping rabbi is my family crest. I'm eschewed by other Jews in Jewville, and God ignores my Facebook friend request. At my bar mitzvah, they chiseled my bust out of hand. I call 911, not Hashem, when I'm in a jam. Don't make a temple mount out of a molehill. I'm just the least Jewy Jew in Jewville. Hey! 10 Cossacks had their way with my great bubby Rivka. She had a challah in the oven when she vamoosed from Anatevka. Consequently, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's signals got crossed. Now to me, Rabbi Schneerson looks like Santa Claus. I'm the least Jewy Jew in Jewville. Not even Jews for Jesus speak to me. I donated my to Goodwill. Hebrew and Yiddish, well, they're both Greek to me. In the diaspora, my GPS led me astray. Now I drive to Red Lobster every Saturday. Doctor, please prescribe a Jew pill. For the least Jewy Jew in Jewville is a magical place where bacon-wrapped scallops roam free. Never fearing their heavenly taste will ever be wasted on the likes of you and me. I'm the least Jewy Jew in Jewville. Circle dancing with dudes is overrated. After my bris, everything went